Something unusual is happening across the country tonight, and most people only see one piece. 13 Wisconsin counties are freezing at 26 degrees, while Texas is getting battered by 50-mile-per-hour winds. Oklahoma quietly soaked up 2.01 inches of rain in 48 hours, biggest two-day total of May. 3 events, 3 regions, 1 night, and here is what ties all of them together. No sugarcoating. This is one connected weather pattern, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Welcome to Monday night into Tuesday, May 11th. Stay with me because this gets interesting. Folks, I have been digging into this radar all night long, and the full picture is something else. Most weather coverage tonight is focusing on Texas, but that is only 1/3 of this story. Let me show you all 3 pieces, because the way they connect is what nobody is talking about. Here is what the Texas radar showed at 9/11 tonight. Good grief, look at this storm complex. A storm complex measuring 400 miles east to west is sitting right on top of the entire state. The atmosphere is saturated with Gulf moisture. Dew points in the low 70s are feeding every cell. That is the exact storm fuel that makes meteorologists lose sleep. And tonight, it is all there. Dallas, Fort Worth, Waco, Austin, and San Antonio all took direct hits from this system. The hardest radar core drills straight from DFW south through Houston, a solid wall of red. Lufkin, Beaumont, Tyler, Texarkana, all buried inside that intense red zone as we speak. Shreveport in Louisiana is also catching the eastern edge of this massive overnight complex. Here's something buried in the data. The timing on this storm is remarkably precise tonight. Between 9 p.m. and midnight Central Daylight Time, the heaviest band tracked through DFW, Waco, and the I-35 corridor. From midnight to 3 a.m. Central Daylight Time, the main threat window shifts south to Austin and San Antonio. Southeast Texas and Houston, that squall line pushes through between 2 and 5 a.m. Central Daylight Time. And Corpus Christi through the coastal bend, your watch is active until exactly 5 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Now here's what most radar coverage missed. A line exploded near Kingsville at 1:37 a.m. That line was moving southeast at 60 miles per hour, and Northwest Brownsville caught it immediately. Good for them. Jim Hogg, Brooks, Inland Kennedy, Inland Willacy, Coastal Kennedy, and Northern Hidalgo all tagged. Falfurrias, Sarita, San Manuel, Encino, Rachel, Armstrong, and Agua Nueva named in that statement. Wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour with that line, knocking limbs down and launching debris across roads. Torrential rain flooded streets and rural roads before most people even saw the storm coming. U.S. Highway 77 between mile markers 710 and 758 is compromised by flooding right now tonight. U.S. 281 between mile markers 708 and 764. Same dangerous situation. Stay off that road. Mobile home residents across South and Central Texas, please get to a sturdy building now. 50-mile-per-hour winds and a mobile home is a combination nobody should risk on a night like this. Frequent lightning is firing with these storms, and it reaches up to 10 miles from the cell itself. Turn around, don't drown. Burn this into your memory, because that rule saves lives every single time. On that 9/11 Austin radar, I spotted 2 cells flanking Burnett, Marble Falls, and Georgetown. Both cells were converging and driving all their energy directly into Round Rock and Austin. 60 to 70 miles per hour movement left residents almost no time to react and get inside tonight. New Braunfels and San Marcos were also directly in the forward path of those converging cells. Bastrop and Smithville on the eastern flank picked up heavy rain and gusty winds as well. San Marcos and Kyle are reporting active street flooding spreading through low-lying areas now. Round Rock Emergency Management confirmed multiple roads closed due to rapidly rising high water. Georgetown drivers are being turned back at flooded low water crossings throughout this evening. College Station, Bryan, Killeen, and Temple are all reporting lightning damage and gusty winds. Beaumont and Port Arthur near the Louisiana line are logging the heaviest overnight rainfall totals. And here is the detail most coverage has not picked up yet: power outages across Texas. Thousands of homes and businesses are completely dark across the heart of the state right now. The outage map shows Central Texas as the epicenter. Nobody anticipated this scale of outages. Y'all still holding power in Texas? Charge every single device before the next wave rolls in. Another line is still pushing through, and this night is flat out far from finished right now. Now here's the part of tonight's story that most people completely miss on the map. At the exact same moment Texas is being battered, the upper Midwest is being quietly flash frozen. One system, two opposite extremes. Heat and violence in Texas, cold and silence up north. 13 Wisconsin counties are under an active freeze warning running through 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Temperatures are dropping toward 26 degrees, the coldest reading of any night this entire spring. Marathon, Shawano, Wood, Portage, Wapaka, and Door counties are all inside that hard freeze zone. Outagamie, Brown, Kewaunee, Waushara, Winnebago, Calumet, and Manitowoc are all in that warning. Green Bay is dropping to near 29 degrees. Appleton and Oshkosh already hitting dangerous frost. Wausau and Weston in Marathon County are seeing one of the sharpest temperature drops all season. Frost and freeze can wipe out crops overnight. One night of 26 degrees is all it takes. Unprotected plumbing can burst in temperatures this cold. Cover your pipes before you sleep. NWS Green Bay is urging everyone in that freeze zone to act before temperatures hit the bottom. Cover your plants, bring your pets in, wrap your outdoor pipes. Do not wait until morning. Carol Myers, a retired nurse from Omaha, told me she learned a hard lesson from a May freeze. Carol lost half her seedlings last spring. This year, she is outside covering her garden right now. Folks like Carol get it. Real people making real decisions based on exactly this kind of forecast. Now, here is something that surprised even me when I pulled the full map tonight, y'all. A massive freeze warning is blanketing western and central Minnesota through early Tuesday morning. Roseau, Baudette, Bemidji, Detroit Lakes, Brainerd, and St. Cloud are all inside that cold zone. Grand Forks, Plummer, Hillsboro, and Fergus Falls are also sitting inside that Minnesota freeze. International Falls near the Canadian border is dropping to near 30 degrees before midnight Central Daylight Time. Duluth on the western Lake Superior shore is tracking lows dangerously close to the freeze mark. Fargo, North Dakota, just across the border from Minnesota, is also feeling this same cold outbreak. And that brings me to something I need to stop right here and make sure you fully understand. Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan are simultaneously getting hammered by this same cold air mass. 3 states, 1 outbreak, and the scale of this freeze corridor caught forecasters off guard. Margaret Collins, a retired teacher from Wichita, says May cold snaps hit farmers the hardest. Margaret, you are right. Crops in the ground mean a freeze erases weeks of hard work. That is the human side of this forecast that the radar maps can never fully show you, folks. Here is the Michigan discovery. The entire northern lower peninsula is under an active freeze warning. Petoskey, Sheboygan, Rogers City, Alpena, and Traverse City, all of them waking up to hard cold. Gaylord, Grayling, West Branch, Houghton Lake, and Mayo are fully locked inside that warning zone. Ludington, Manistee, East Tawas, Standish, Harrison, and Big Rapids, the freeze covers them all. Cadillac, Gladwin, Reed City, Clare, and Fremont are also under that same active freeze warning. Michigan forecasters say lows in the freeze zone could bottom out near 28 degrees before dawn. Traverse City cherry orchards are at serious risk. One hard freeze can devastate the entire crop. Get your livestock into covered shelter in Michigan and Wisconsin before midnight Central Daylight Time tonight. Dale Simmons, a farmer from Abilene, Kansas, says his soil is already saturated from April rain. Dale says a hard May freeze on saturated soil is the worst combination a farmer can face. Folks like Dale understand this weather in a way that no forecast model can fully capture, y'all. Mark my words, this same freeze has crossed into southern Ontario, hitting London and Toronto. Stratford, Hamilton, Kitchener, Cambridge, Guelph, and Brantford are inside the freeze zone. Newmarket, Markham, Pickering, and Oshawa. Even communities near Lake Ontario have frost alerts. Door County, Wisconsin, the country's most productive cherry region, is fully frozen as of tonight. Farmers there are working by flashlight to cover orchards before temperatures bottom out. I need to stop right here, because that South Texas severe thunderstorm watch is still active. 15 counties are still under that watch until 5 a.m. Central Daylight Time. The overnight threat is real. Corpus Christi, Laredo, Victoria, Kingsville, and Rockport are all inside that active watch. Alice, Beeville, Three Rivers, Sinton, Portland, and Goliad. I kid you not, the list is long. Loyola Beach, Magnolia Beach, Mathis, Orange Grove, and Woodsboro are inside the watch area. Holiday Beach, Flower Bluff, Freer, Fulton, Tilden, and Tynan, all of them in the danger zone. NWS Corpus Christi is actively monitoring every development through the rest of the overnight. Damaging winds, frequent lightning, and heavy rain, all part of this same dangerous package. Lightning from these storms reaches 10 miles out. Heads up if you are anywhere near South Texas. Bob Simmons, a retired electrician from Indianapolis, has the same rule every time it storms. Bob says the moment you hear thunder, get inside. No debate, no hesitation, no second chances. South Texas tonight is exactly the kind of situation Bob's rule was made for. Plain and simple. Drop your city and state in the comments. I will personally track your area through the night. Here is the third piece of this pattern. The most welcome story of the entire night. The Sooner State soaked up 2.01 inches of rain over 48 hours, the biggest May total statewide. The Oklahoma Mesonet map through 8 p.m. last night shows just how widespread that rainfall was. South Central Oklahoma took the top reading at 2.01 inches. After a dry stretch, that is gold. Not gonna lie, seeing that 2.01-inch Mesonet reading put a real smile on my face tonight. Across mid-Oklahoma, totals were commonly between 1.30 and 1.60 inches over those 2 rainy days. Eastern Oklahoma also pulled in solid moisture, with several spots recording up to 1.30 inches. Even the eastern Oklahoma panhandle surprised me, readings up to 0.83 inches in dry country. Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Lawton, and Norman all received widespread and genuinely beneficial rain. Ardmore and Durant near the Texas border recorded close to 1.13 inches across those 2 days. Frank Hollister, a rancher from Amarillo, says beneficial rain like that is always worth celebrating. Frank, you are right. That moisture is going to replenish soil that had been running dangerously short. You better believe it. Rain like this in Oklahoma is exactly what the Southern Plains needed. Oklahoma folks, drop your city and rainfall total in the comments below right now tonight. Now, here's how tonight's picture unfolds over the next several hours across each region. Austin and San Antonio. Your storm window runs through approximately 3 a.m. Central Daylight Time tonight. Houston and Southeast Texas. That squall line arrives between 2 and 5 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Stay sharp. Wisconsin freeze warnings lift at 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Temperatures rebound through the morning hours. Michigan freeze zones moderate through Tuesday, but 4 to 7 a.m. Central Daylight Time is the most dangerous window. Gardeners and farmers, check your crops the moment sunlight arrives on Tuesday morning. Do yourself a solid and walk those fields first thing before you do anything else Tuesday morning. Oklahoma stays drier through Tuesday. That beneficial 2-day rain has done its job out there. By Wednesday, a new disturbance is expected to develop across the Central Plains. Watch that. The Storm Prediction Center will evaluate severe potential from Kansas into Missouri by midweek. Texas dries out through Tuesday before another system looks to approach by the end of this week. Here is the full picture one more time. 15 counties under a watch until 5 a.m. Central Daylight Time. 50-mile-per-hour winds, 400 miles of storm complex, and 26-degree temps in the upper Midwest tonight. Oklahoma pulling in 2.01 inches of rain, the biggest two-day total anywhere in the state this May. All three events, all three regions, one single night. Now you have seen the complete picture. That kind of pattern keeps me locked in front of radar from dusk until dawn, plain and simple. This pattern is far from over. I am not leaving until every city gets covered tonight.